Welcome to Iconic TV. Today is important because we're talking about big changes that are coming. Those changes are coming in social media. You might have felt like, gosh, social media is getting old and tired and a little bit long in the tooth. It's getting a little boring. I feel like I'm doing the same thing over and over and over. Well, guess what? You're going to love what's coming because everything is changing. Everything is getting bigger and it is getting faster and you have to keep up. This is one of the shows that you want to watch again and again and again because we're going to show you some secret things that you can do. Not the obvious things that everyone's going to try to do, but the underground things, the things that nobody's talking about that makes people catapult their business. And I'm going to show you behind the scenes of our company how we build companies from 6 figures to 7 figures in 1 year or less without any of the stress or struggle or overwhelm. I am your host. I'm Dr. Connie Scavella. I am a 3-time #1 best-selling author, an international speaker, and a business growth strategist, which means I'm an expert at turning your business around. If you've been flatlined and you want to have a real trajectory in your business, this is the show for you. So without further ado, we want to go ahead and get started and talk about the big changes that are coming in social media. Keep your eye on the clock. We're going to go really fast. If you need a replay, all you have to do is type replay below and my amazing team will get it for you. So I want you to first look before you leap. All these changes are going to happen really quick, just like with AI, it happened really quick. And it keeps happening. Things are changing every 3 months. But before you dive into something, before you let that amygdala kick off in your brain and that shiny object syndrome goes crazy and you have to have a little bit of everything, look before you leap. First place you want to look is right here, because what we're going to talk about is some of these viral trends. There's going to be 3 areas we're talking about today, and these are the core of what you need to understand in your business and how it relates to social media. So the first maxim that we're going to talk about, the first principle you must understand, is how to become distinguished. And this is very, very important. You don't want to be the jack of all trades and trends. Okay. So what are we talking about? Just because something new is coming up doesn't mean you have to fall for it. And a lot of people are doing that. They are getting all into the chaos instead of curating. And when you're talking about social media, it's a lot of work, or it could be. I'm going to show you something on the third maxim, but it doesn't have to be as chaotic, as up and down and roller coaster as this. Just when you're trying to get big, but it's so hard. That's not the right way to do it. A lot of people are actually trying to patchwork their business together, and they're taking a little bit of this and a little bit of this and a little bit of this. Well, patchwork does not work. Let me show you what does, because distinguishing is all about you. Who are you, your brand? What do you stand for, your message? How does it stand apart from everything else out there? We all know it's a red ocean. The markets are so competitive, and there's so much you need to do to stay ahead. And the temptation is to just follow everyone else that's doing it. That is not what's going to work. Let me show you what will work. Remember, the first thing with all these big changes is you must be distinguished. You have to become iconic. You have to be preeminent. You have to stand out from everybody else. So I don't want you to be the jack of all trends. I want you to be the master of one, and to be able to be known for one thing. You can still capitalize on this big change coming in social media, but you still need to master one strategy. And one of the best ways for you to do this is what we call our GPS. It's a geometric product sequence. That means you are going from step to step to step in a very sequenced way that leads you to your result without any dips, and you just continue to go up. And so the geometric product sequence is our proprietary method to take companies from 6 figures to 7 figures in a year or less. It is absolutely magical. Everything revolves around this. Everything results from it. So it's what we call an ease and plastic model. And ease and plastic is a word developed by Samuel Coleridge way back, I think in the 1800s. And what it means is one who has the ability to unite disparate parts, things from all over, into one unified whole. This is all about singularity, not the singularity. This is singularity in your business. And this is really where the power is going to come from in your business. So watch closely, because this is the magic. And so what we're talking about is the power of the cube. Okay. So these are cubes, right? You can see these are many cubes stacked together, and you can notice a unique dimensions to them, just like in the picture here, right? And this is what you're creating. But where does it all stem from? It all stems from a single cube. What is that single cube, right? And notice that it's clear, but with every way that you sit it, it's completely balanced. And this is really how your business needs to be. There's a lot we talk about this. So I have a PhD in advanced theoretical physics. And if you look at the chemical model of a carbon model, it's actually the shape of a cube. And carbon is indestructible in atmospheric pressure. So this is what you want to be in your business. Indestructible, right? So this is the power of the cube. And if you want to get cubed, just type cube down below. If you want to know how it works, well, I'll be happy to tell you. So right now, we are, as part of our St. Nicholas Black Friday, Cyber Monday offer, we are giving everybody a chance to get cubed, to work with me for free the rest of the year. I will coach you for free. All you have to do is go to our Black Friday offer, and we'll put that in the link, and you can find it all over our social media. So go there, and it's for the rest of the year. Most people know it's a 5-6 figure investment to work with me. And if you can work with me for free, why not? Okay, we will get you cubed by the end of the year. I promise. So what does this look like? This is a 360-degree success formula. And so look at the cubes and look at the sequence and the geometric pattern. This is how the brain works. This is how we think. This is what motivates us. This is what moves us forward instead of moving us back. Chaos, disruption, lack of uniformity. That is what causes us to pull away from things. So harmony, symmetry, this is what you have to create in your business. A harmony in your brand, in your relationship with your clients, with your team, with the marketplace. Everything has to have this essence of the cube. And it's a very powerful model. So distinction is the first thing. You have to be distinguished. Next thing you have to do is disrupt. This is very important. We've gone from the virality of you being a viral entity to now we're talking about the content. What are the trends in the content? And this is very important. Disruption is really where it is at. And I want you to understand that of these three, this is where a lot of people get it wrong, right? Because they're trying to just do something crazy, but there's no logic to it. And there's no thought to it. Yes, this is where you're going to push boundaries, but this is also where you need to actually have a plan. Okay, so let's talk about this plan that you need to have in order to capitalize on these big changes. I'm going to show you the big changes. Number one, being disruptive. Now, you actually have to be entertaining. This is where a lot of people are going to fall off the cliff because they are so boring. And people are like, how long should my content be? Should I do short form, long form? I just say do interesting and do that. People want more entertainment. That's what they want. They don't want vanilla anymore. Now, if your education is entertaining, that's fine. But if your entertainment is boring, that's not going to work either. So you must focus on the entertainment. This is what people want. And here's the studies, right? The rise of the personality is the thing, but it's with a brand, not just me, but you have no brand, you have no thing. That gets very old. And if you think, well, I'm going to be an influencer of what? Right? So you still have a brand. Everything is with a brand, not without it. You can't be a solo personality unless, of course, you're in Hollywood, and then good luck with that. I've tried that. So 81% of the best brands actually focus on the personality, and that personality has to be entertaining. All right. If you don't know how to entertain the masses and you have to do it live, then you're going to need to get some help and get some study. This is where we come in handy. You can come in and take our camera confidence and charisma course. We have lots of programs that can help you do this. I was in that industry for a long period of time and taught other talent how to succeed on camera. So if you need some help with that, we can happily help you. So let's take a look at this and let me show you what this is all about. This is about the factor of how many companies and brands are actually entertaining. You see, there's 5 different levels of clients. So you could be a trailblazer, right? A risk taker. You could be a champion, and you could be what we call a balancer. You could be a play it safer, and you could be creatively contained. Let's just call it that. Okay. So look at the percentage of companies at the bottom row. That's how often they're using entertaining content and creating entertaining content, right? A quarter of the companies out there are risk takers and champions. They're leading brands. And so that's half of the brands right there. And look at that, 81% to 100% are focused on entertaining content. And when you come to the very conservatively constrained companies, they only have 15%. And the difference in the market is really significant, because when you look at the difference of what they make, there's a huge gap. And so what social media is doing with this new change is they are doing what's happening in our country, right? It's sort of the erasing of the middle class. There's the haves and there's the have-nots. And when you do that, societies collapse. So you really have to get on the side of the haves. Okay. Now, so is this making sense to you? I hope so. If not, if you need we have a whole list of all of these things in a free giveaway. All you have to do is ask for the free cheat sheet. Just type cheat sheet down below, and we will get that to you. And you can see all of this. So what's the next part of this disruption that's happening is you must be bespoke. You know what that means? Think about, like, if you go to London, they have a lot of shops that hand make custom suits. And so we used to do that when I was in college. I first had a design degree, and we used to have to hand sew 3-piece suits. It was amazing. It took us about 40 hours of hand stitching every stitch, everything, buttonholes, everything, zippers. And when you finished, it was bespoke. It was like perfectly fit and tailored to you. And that is what you have to do with your content now. You can't just put stuff out there generically and see what sticks. Yes, you have to see what works and iterate, but you have to do what's called research, and you have to know your customer. This is where people fall apart. It's very important to do the research. How do you do good research? You mix it with data. There's lots of AI sources and tools to mix with data, and then the meat. You have to meet these people. You have to test it out. Is it working? Does it work? How much of an impact am I making if I want my viral content to work, right? You're going to combine the virality of being distinguished and the content of disruption as well. So now the third maxim that we're going into today, and that is dominate. So we have distinguish, disrupt, and dominate. Those are the keys. Now, when you are talking about the AI, what is important here? Everybody's into AI. Everyone's looking at it. It's either overwhelming or you are petrified by it. So what we want you to be is Agent 007 in charge. That's your whole goal, okay? What do I mean by this? Is there are so many agents. These are called AI agents. They will do all the work for you. They will do step by step by step. Now, I have a list of all of these different agents for all these different types of your business and for all the different stages of your business. If you're getting started, maybe you need a VA or an assistant. Maybe you need somebody for HR or for your accounting. There are different agents that can handle all of that. And so now you can literally reduce the size of your business, right? So what I want you to understand is you want to take advantage of these. If you want to hop on a 10-minute call and see what they all are, how do they work, which ones should you implement into your business and in what order, then I'll be happy to do that with you. So what I want you to understand is this is a game of velocity. right? Yes, you have to have that singular target, that singular focus. But are you going to climb up one rung at a time on this ladder? That's going to take a while. You need a rocket ship, right? This is where we're really talking about speed. And that's the whole focus in your mind, right? This is where, if you want to keep up with these big changes in social media, you have to have really iconic growth in your business. And that's the difference, trying it by yourself or not. Okay. I also want you to think about things this way. Do it the IBM way. You guys remember IBM? Way back, they had the whole concept. If you haven't read the book Think, it's really good. Read the book Think. It's about IBM and a man named Walter Russell, who's absolutely brilliant. And so this is about thinking. And when you read the book, the first couple chapters, he's just really getting it into your head. Think, just think. So many people aren't thinking. They're unconscious. They're just going through the motions and they're, buffeted around in the wind. And we say, be the rock, not the ripple, which means be the foundation, be the thing that where you get thrown, you make the impact. Like in the water, if you throw a big rock in it, the rock makes an impression and it sinks down, but it has an impression that goes out from it. So most people are the ripple. We want you to be the rock and still, okay? And think. Take time to think. It's so important because you're going to get bombarded with all these other strategies and things. The other thing that's very powerful right now in social media is social listening. Now, we have done an entire training on it. And if you want to have that training, let us know. We've done an entire training on social listening. And it's very, very powerful. It's very complex. It's more than a 30-minute presentation, but you need to start listening. Okay. What is your audience saying? You have to start listening to the world. Social listening is very important. And what that means is you want to really dive into the different comments and things. This is one of the most powerful places that you can grow is by diving into the comments of what your audience is saying. And people go, oh, wow, you're in here? It used to be like, oh, I'm too good to be in here. No, people want to see you in there. That is one of the best ways that you can grow your business. And it's the most powerful, right? If you really want to grow fast and profit, one of the best things you can do is organic and do some cold outreach and use these AI agents because they will transform your business. And so listening is so important. I tell people, if you're in a sales call, you know how I know somebody who's really good, who's going to get that sale, and somebody who doesn't? It's how they listen. And when we hire salespeople, which we always are doing, we look at who's the best human, right? Who's a thinker? Who listens? Who doesn't have themselves on display? And who is actually singularly focused on that client? That's the person who's going to win. And that's really how you have to be. And if you look at this closely, you can see what's the confidence people have on a platform about what the return on investment they're going to get from being on these platforms. Because you can spend a lot of time on the platforms, but if you're not getting any results out of it, what is the point, right? And in every case, the blue is the people that listen and the gold is those that didn't. And you look at every platform, the more you get involved in listening socially, the better you will do. So what I want to do is show you that these are just the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot that is changing. And if I were to show them all to you, let's go look at some of the big things that are happening, give you a summary of everything that is happening. And we're going to go backwards, right? So niche channels are the next big thing. Now, user-generated content creators, people that are creating things and they are the ones kind of creating it from your stuff. That's the new influencer. LinkedIn is going to be going very social instead of so much business. And DM shares is the new power currency. This is the metric that is gold. And social media is the place for primetime shows, just like we're doing here. Gen Z is the new golden audience as well. And as we go to the top reasons, again, going from the bottom to the top. And TikTok is the everything app. I've done a show on TikTok. Please look for that. It's very, very powerful. And I use the book by Gary Vee, and he talks about the TikTokification of social media. And that's all about the search. Remember, we talked about research and data and meeting, very powerful. And Reddit for research. If you're not using Reddit, that's a great place to start understanding and reading your audience. Personality, we talked about this, is the new platinum. And brand connections in comments. You start building a community when you're getting into the comments of people. And the more you're in comments, the more the engagement of other people goes up. So get into your comments and comment on your stuff. Trend jacking versus trend trashing. A lot of people are like, oh, here's another thing. I want to hack this and do all that. That's not working. Okay. What you want to do is do a detox of the trend and get away from what everyone else is doing. Trash the trend and be your one thing. Become the one. That's our tagline that we always talk about, right? Social marketing is performance marketing. So that's where you see how you're doing. And of course, AI is here to stay. So if you are not using AI, every part of what I showed you today can implement AI, and it can be very, very powerful for you. So what I want you to do with all this information is, number one, watch it again. Number two, ask yourself, am I thinking about what to do in this new change in the social media? Number three, am I listening to what people are saying so that I can actually have a real connection with my audience that makes an impact, rather than just trying to be seen by other people doing the exact same thing I'm doing? So I hope this has helped you. This is a quick class. I want you to leave your comments down below. Let me know what you thought, and book a call. Ask me in 10 minutes anything that you need, and we will give you an answer and a solution. And don't forget, you have the rest of the year to work with me for free. All you have to do is get our Black Friday offer. Have a great day, and we will see you next Tuesday. Be iconic.